What is up, everybody? And welcome back to the Bat and Hat podcast, where we dive deep into all things nerd. My name, of course, is Ahsoka Tano, and with me once again this week is Trey. What is up, Trey?
Another day in paradise, can't complain. Glad to be here.
What is that, like the white person credo? Just living the dream, buddy.
Living the dream.
Living the dream,
day
buddy.
at a time, buddy.
It's glad to have you back, man.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
It's been a crazy fucking week, 2 weeks. Thanksgiving just happened, and I know I feel like I'm about to go in like 9/11 happened. No, it was just Thanksgiving, and it was, you know,
different turn than I thought.
It was, well, I sounded so solemn, like gosh, like the worst things that. No, Thanksgiving happened, man, and it was it was just a hectic week for me. We're putting out a late show for those of you who can tell that this is coming out on Thursday and not Wednesday. But Trey, man, how was your Thanksgiving?
Mine was pretty good. I got to go over to my girlfriend's grandparents, and that was a pretty fun event. Had like ham, turkey, the normal stuff.
Yeah.
And then later on that night, went over to my uncle's, and he ended up doing like 4 turkeys in like 4 different type of ways.
Lord.
Yeah, he had a deep fried one. He had a smoked one.
Yeah.
He had like a baked one, and I don't even know what the other one was. Like no one even touched the other one. It like was like right in the center of the table, and around it were all like the metal tins with foil over it that everybody picked out of.
Right.
But the one in the middle, it literally like they did the where you cut oranges up to make it look all pretty, and like had like the kale and all that stuff.
That's crazy.
It looked awesome, but no one touched that one. But
it was too perfect.
Yeah, but whenever I left there, I had like at least like, you know, like the 5-gallon Ziploc bag. I'm pretty sure I put like six pounds of fucking ham and turkey in it.
That's awesome.
So
we did something similar, not to that extreme. We didn't do any turkey, actually.
Really?
I'm not a big turkey guy. I like turkey, like deli meat turkey, like sliced up, put it on a sandwich. But turkey to me, like whether it's, you know, in the oven or even deep fried, it's just dry. It's not, you know, I like dark meat, and so I try to stick around that. But so Lindy's not a big turkey person either, so we did 2 hams. We did 2 hams cooked 2 different ways. One of them was in a crock pot that my buddy Tim from down in Orlando, he actually taught me how to make. He sent me the recipe and all that.
Nice.
And it was just like in the crock pot, and it had like pineapple slices and chunks all over it, and then just a bunch of other, you know, spices and stuff we threw in, rubbed with mustard, and then it just sat for 9 hours, you know, on low, and it was the most tender, delicious ham I've ever had. And then we did a spiral cut ham in the oven, just traditional way, and I like spiral cut ham, but she likes clove, you know, she stuck cloves all in it, and you're eating ham, and sometimes you'll get a clove like that you crunch down on. It's not like it's like hard, but the flavor is so fucking pungent and strong. Just, I'm not a fan.
Just a bite of garlic.
But it was all good, man. She made, bro, Lindy is a G in the kitchen. We both are pretty good at cooking, but she can run a kitchen, man. She made this crazy mac and cheese. We got a recipe off TikTok. She made like, you know, mashed potatoes and green bean casserole, broccoli casserole, ooey gooey pumpkin cake. Like, she was making everything. And I just got to
what about the hunt for your crackling cornbread?
Oh shit. So we had cornbread. We couldn't find crackling anywhere. And so we got really thick cut bacon, chopped it up, and fried it in oil to get it crunchy. It actually turned out awesome.
Nice.
And yeah, just shout out to Lindy, man. My girlfriend is awesome, and she made some really good food. And I've been eating that exclusively for the last week now, so I'm pretty done. It's finally all gone. Even the ham, we had so much ham, it's pretty much gone bad now. Sitting in the fridge for a week and a half.
Can only have so many ham sandwiches.
Oh my God, you're not lying. And we still have a frozen mac and cheese in the freezer that I'm gonna save for next month sometime when I'm really craving like mac and cheese.
Either that or when you're really sad.
Yeah. No, but it was good, man. It was really good. I'm glad you guys had fun. It's I hope everybody out there had fun. Please, if you get the chance, I'll just go ahead and throw out the social medias. Bat in the Hat Podcast on Facebook. Bat Hat Pod at Bat Hat Pod on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. Let us know somewhere, man. DM us, comment on the post we make for this episode. Let us know how your Thanksgiving went. You know, we want to hear from you guys. And I feel like we don't get enough interaction from the fans currently. So I'd love you guys to reach out, comment stuff. You know, we know there's at least a few of y'all listening. So
can only talk to Tony so often.
I know, right? But no, it was really awesome. And obviously we had, just for you guys at home, this is going to be a pretty short episode. Nothing crazy going on. I think we're actually going to end up spiraling a little bit here because we got some stuff we want to talk about. But crazy episode of The Mandalorian season 2, episode 5 or chapter 13. And I'm not going to say anything about it just yet, but holy fuck, I was going to skip this week. It was so crazy that I was just going to be like, no, let's not do a podcast. But I had to talk about this episode. Right. I mean, it was that good. It was that important that I had to talk about this episode. But before we do that, we're going to get into the news and just talk about a couple of things. Again, nothing crazy. I'm sure more stuff happened this week that I didn't write down. But again, man, I was just so busy. I didn't get a chance to write everything down. I
mean, obviously, we got to shoehorn in all the RIPs. I mean, there's multiple that we can name, but RIP, tired of the segment, ready for 2020 to be over with.
Seriously, rest in peace. the couple people who passed away this week. I feel like every week for the last, is it 5 weeks now, 4 weeks now, we've had rest in peace something.
I don't know. I'm trying to keep it happy, so T's and P's, and let's get on with the news.
So first bit of news is Elliot Page, formerly known as Ellen Page, came out as transgender, and I wanted to applaud her for that. I think right off the bat, I apologize. I want to applaud him for that. Right. I think that's pretty amazing anytime somebody comes out and speaks their truth. And Elliot Page, who you may remember from what's the show called now? Played the Umbrella Academy and Juno, and was actually, I think, I don't remember if this was rumored. You might be able to help me out. One of my favorite games ever is called The Last of Us. You've heard of The Last of Us, right? And when that was first coming out, they said that the face model was of the girl, who I'm blanking on the name, but the face model was based on, was it Ellie? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the face model of Ellie was based on Elliot Page, and I think that I always thought that was at least what I always thought, because I remember that rumor coming out and whatnot. But no, I just thought that was really cool. I wanted to celebrate that for a minute and just say, congratulations. And, everybody here at the Bat in the Hat stands by you, Elliot. And I really hope that, he'll continue to be in the Umbrella Academy and continue to be in really good stuff that, he played Kitty Pryde in the X-Men movies and just has done some really good stuff. So I just wanted to say congratulations and just kind of bring it up. Just thought it was a neat tidbit.
Yes, sir. I'm very happy about it. I mean, everybody live their truth. Whatever makes you happy, happy. Man. Everybody love is love. I really appreciate it. I mean, the only thing I didn't like about it is how, like, all the websites, the only picture that they used was of him in, like, a shitty, like, monster hat.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. You're trying to, like, make him, he came out, make him look masculine, but you have multiple pictures of him in a suit, him dressed proper, dressed nice.
That's more of a comment on the state of media that we have now, right? It's all very sensationalism. We talk about all the time. Sometimes we'll get into those discussions about, like, there is no media outlet reporting the truth anymore. Big air fingers. Right. They're purely here for sensation. What can they say to rile people up and move up their viewership and their, you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with. So if they'll take anything from somebody's personal business, and this is something that you're a celebrity and it, you made a public statement, so you can't expect it to stay too personal, but they'll take anything from their personal business to a tragedy to whatever, and they'll just sensationalize the shit out of it. And that's always been something with me, but I agree. That's pretty much the photo that I've seen circulating too. Right. It looks like, he was dressed up as Eminem or something.
Yeah, it's like, why you pick that, like, garbage picture? But it is what it is. I mean, at least no one's, like, I haven't heard nothing bad online. I haven't heard any, like, dead naming or nothing like that. So
right.
I'm really happy about it.
Yeah. I mean, we stay away from politics and controversial topics here, but at the Bat in the Hat podcast, we do not discriminate based on sexual orientation or race or anything of the sort. And we like to celebrate people and celebrate who they are. So, Elliot Page, we celebrate you. Something I don't celebrate, awful segue, is The Office is leaving Netflix and going to Peacock. And I guess, again, it makes sense, right? Because Peacock is NBC's platform, and The Office was an NBC show. I think and didn't it move? That wasn't the last season, like, on TBS or something. It wasn't even on NBC or something like that.
Yeah, it was on TBS, but I mean, the majority of that show was on NBC.
Right.
But the cool thing about it going to Peacock is it's free, technically.
So that was what I was going to ask you. I have no experience with Peacock, but everyone's telling me it's free. Yeah. Is Peacock fucking free?
It's free to an extent. I don't think like you can watch everything on there or like murder like every single season of everything.
Right.
But you definitely can go on it. And it's
so do you think The Office then is going to be free, or maybe the first season or something?
Yeah, probably season 1 just to get people interested, and then they'll have like a paywall.
That's not a bad idea. A lot, give them a taste,
right?
Get people interested. A lot of these like Netflix is exclusively you can't see anything. Unless, and I think that a lot of the animes like Crunchyroll, like they have free content, but it's a very small amount. So it is kind of like get hooked on anime, you know, and then pay us, which I think Crunchyroll's mad expensive. If I remember correctly, it's like $15 a month or something. That's my gripe about HBO Max, by the way. I love HBO Max. I'm on it nonstop. It's my favorite like streaming platform right now. Just because it's all the DC stuff is on there, so I go through and I watch it. Plus, I think HBO like original content is dope as fuck. And I really want to start watching The Wire soon. But
you haven't seen The Wire?
No, never saw The Wire. But Idris Elba's in it, and I'm a big fan of his.
It's a great movie.
And there's a lot of
season. I'm so sorry. Great. You said Idris Elba a movie, and I just watched The Losers before I came here, and I was like, oh, movie. Oh, nope, wrong
one. But I think it's great. But it's like $15 a month.
Yeah,
and that's almost twice as expensive as some of the other ones out there.
But I'm not mad about it. I mean, they definitely got a couple of cool movies that are coming out soon.
Yeah,
like I know Wonder Woman is coming out on Christmas Day.
That's true.
You're not gonna have to pay a premium for it. I mean, granted,
is that confirmed? Because I haven't heard anything about not having to pay for Wonder Woman when it comes out.
I'm just going off of Mark Bernardin from what he said. He said it's free and it's only gonna be there for a month, and then after that, it's gonna go to all the other platforms like Vudu and everything where you can buy and rent.
And now I trust Mark Bernardin.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. Happy belated birthday. I think it was on Monday. Turned 49. Really?
I haven't listened to any of their podcasts in a couple weeks, and I feel bad about it. But they're another one. We were right before we started rolling. We were talking about Joe Rogan, and I like Joe Rogan. I really do. I think he's a smart guy. I like how he walks that middle road. You know, he's not afraid to tell you his opinion and his convictions, but he also is a lot. I think he's very open-minded. He likes to hear what people from any side of anything has to say. But all of his episodes are fucking 2.5, 3 hours long.
He's like the perfect podcast host. You just want to talk?
Yeah.
Let's just talk.
And
whatever you think.
He can keep doing. He can keep talking. And I think it's great. But the same with Fat Man Beyond. It's great if I'm in a car and I have a lot of time to listen. But they're very long episodes. And when we first started this podcast, we were hitting like 2 hours every time. And I didn't see a problem with that. Because I was like, fuck, we just like to talk. I just like to get through. And now if we get close to like an hour 15, an hour 30, I'm like, fuck, this is a long podcast. You know, not that I don't like to talk. I love the sound of my own voice. I can keep talking forever. But I know that it probably deters a lot of people out there from wanting to even press play, you know?
I mean, definitely to each their own. I mean, with us only being audio for the moment, it can be a different type of burn. Like I know for me, I work in construction. So a lot of my podcasts I just have in headsets and I just get to work. So I can like burn through like a couple episodes of Rogan, or I can burn through like a short one like Talking Tunes that's only like 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's Rob Paulson's. Yeah, I like Talking Tunes. Yeah, he's awesome. Well, since we're on that subject of HBO Max, I'll skip ahead just a little bit. Godzilla vs. King Kong is heading straight to HBO Max. And now you were saying before the show that they turned down a deal with Netflix for the same thing?
Yeah, they had an offer for, I think it was like $225 million.
Really?
But I don't know how much they put into that movie, especially that being so much CGI and everything. But with it being a Warner Brothers property, I kind of figured that's why they kept it in the house.
Sure.
But don't get me wrong, I don't think they're going to have it there. They're probably going to do like the same thing they're doing with Wonder Woman 84.
Right. 84? 1984. Yeah.
There we go. I was going to say 88, but I knew that felt wrong.
Wonder Woman 88. It sounds good.
Right?
Yeah.
A little bit of a roll on the tongue.
Yeah, it sounds a little more fluid.
But no, they're definitely going to do the same thing where they're going to have it there for like a month, and then they'll send it to like all the other like Amazon Prime and Vudu and all that where you have to buy it, and they try to make their capital off it. But definitely to try to hit their marker before the new year or new business year, whatever rolls over.
Right.
They're going to try to get as many subscribers and people onto HBO Max. That way they can keep on flushing it out. And then once they get all those people in, they'll get hooked on all the DC shows like You and Moi.
Right.
Then they'll get Justice League.
The way that I see it is I'm just noticing your shirt, by the way. It
Oh,
says Dilly
thanks.
Dilly. It's in like an ugly sweater style Bud Light. I love it.
It's very cold
Those
outside.
commercials used to fuck with me. Dilly Dilly.
Bud Night.
The Bud Night. But the way I see it is that HBO Max is and Warner Brothers being incredibly smart. So they're doing what we had hoped DC Universe would have done.
Right.
And looking back, I want DC Universe I want their entire fucking catalog to be on there at all times. I want to be able to read any comic that I can read.
Right.
Comic-wise, I'm speaking, their entire catalog. I want to be able to read any storyline. If I want to go back for reference of something or pull something up, I want to be able to do that. But I realize with the movies, it doesn't really make sense because when you look at all of, like, at one time, they had pretty much every DC anything on there, except for the current DCEU stuff.
Right.
And it was maybe 25 movies, a couple TV shows. So I was like, oh, fuck, there's not as much as I remember there, like, being in my head.
I actually have a great hot take that will kind of, like, tick you off about why DC, like, why that app kind of failed.
Why? What do you think?
I think it was because of Titans, to be honest.
You think?
Yeah,
really?
Because that was the one that they, like, highlighted as that app.
Right.
Like, any type of promotion that they put on, they put that.
Yeah, and it was kind of poorly
like,
done.
Yeah, and with the way that Titans was shot, I mean, it's a good show and everything.
Yeah, it's a good show.
But I definitely probably would have, like, set it off with, like, Batman the Animated Series, because that's an all-time classic.
Right.
Then I would have put the Harley Quinn show that they just came out with, which was a banger. And
Yeah.
And then I would have probably put, like, Doom Patrol. But I get why they went with Titans, because Titans introduced Doom Patrol.
Titans was like the first, right? And they were kind of building their
building it off
DC
of that.
universe, you know?
Yeah.
And Doom Patrol was also a banger. It was a great show.
Yeah.
Titans, I think it could be better. I'm very excited to see, because I don't know if they've changed production teams. I don't know what they've done since it made the jump to HBO Max. But they're dealing with HBO Max money now.
Right.
You know?
And season 2, they kind of got rid of, like they jumped around a lot and just kind of got every, like, property in there, which
right.
Season 2 was interesting, to say the least. It was just kind of
Did you finish it finally?
I did. It was just very sporadic.
Again, I thought, and I just finished watching seasons 1 and 2 again, and I was like, oh, wow, these are great. They were actually better than I remembered them being. And I was on the Titans train for a while. I mean, you know me. I'm such a huge Titans fan. And
Nightwing tramp stamp.
I decided not to get a tramp stamp. It's actually under my sack now. But nice. I don't know what it's called when you tattoo your gooch, but that's what I got. I thought it was good. It was better than I remembered it being. What I thought was horrible was that last episode of season 2. It just felt so like, fuck, you drew out this whole season and this is the one that felt rushed. Like,
Same thing with, like, season 1, the ending of that.
Oh, well, and because it was supposed to be a longer season anyways. They were supposed to finish the whole Trigon. And then they ended up having to finish that year. That's a good point, because Trigon, and like, that whole thing ended in episode 1 of season 2. And it just felt like rushed. It just felt like, fuck, we had built up to this thing. And then it was over in the first 15 minutes of the first episode.
Right. And that with, like, the introduction of, like, Superboy,
right,
and just other different characters.
They put a lot into it.
Yeah, it definitely, like, jumped around, and they tried to all tie it up at the very end, but it was just very sporadic.
I think my favorite part about that season was the flashbacks and getting to know Aqualad and stuff like that. I don't know. Regardless, I know we're getting super off topic. I think it's a really good. I think Titans is going to do great on HBO Max.
Yeah.
If they up the production value and really be like, okay, who's writing this? Like,
I'm really curious if they're going to try to, like, tie it in at all with Snyderverse.
No, I don't think they will. It just seems so far out of there.
Yeah.
Especially since, you know, you have a Bruce Wayne in both of. I don't know. I think it would be a really dumb thing to do. But I think HBO Max is smart, man. I think the idea of, oh no, we're not going to make any deals with our movies. These are our movies. We have a streaming platform, and they're banger movies. Like Wonder Woman 84 is going to be huge, I think.
Yeah, and you have all that capital. Like, it cost a lot of money to make those movies, so you're gonna need to try to flip them. And you have this app that's doing pretty fire right now. So
King Kong versus Godzilla is going to be, or Godzilla versus King Kong is going to be huge. I think bangers and mash. I think that it would be ridiculous to not premiere it on your platform. If you're going to go straight to streaming and you have a streaming platform, why would you make a deal with somebody else? It's just going to draw in subscribers. It's going to draw in a lot of people. And HBO has acquired, really, I mean, you can go on there and watch all of the Alien movies. You can go and watch, there's like a lot of properties that are like
Matrix. They had Harry Potter for a minute.
Yeah, and then that went to, where'd that go? That went to something else. I think that went to Peacock. It went to something.
Might have went to Hulu, maybe. Or it came from Hulu. I don't know. They definitely treat Harry Potter like a whore.
Yeah, Harry Potter gets passed around a lot. That feels weird to say.
Live your truth, Mr. Potter.
I think it's going to be really cool. And I love HBO Max. I'm willing to pay, especially if they're not going to hit us with a premium fee for these movies.
Did you end up doing the premium fee for Mulan?
No. I have no interest in seeing Mulan.
I ended up doing it. Really? It was okay, to say the least, but they definitely took a little... Like, they kept it the same, but they only tied in, like, a little bit of difference to it. Instead of, like, going a whole different route with it. Like, they gave Mulan a sister, which, weird.
Yeah.
And then...
Like, why? You know?
No singing at all. And then...
No Mushu.
No Mushu. No,
Did they take that out because it was deemed racist?
I don't know.
I mean,
it makes sense.
It does make sense, especially since the dragon's fucking name was Mushu.
Yeah.
But I did find that very interesting. No, for me, I remember seeing the trailer, and it just, nothing got to me. You know, I was like, man, I'm not interested.
You could tell they kind of wanted to make it like a Jet Li Into the Dragon type of movie.
Right.
Where like he did flying and like a lot of like overly dramatic kicks and stuff like that.
Right.
But I just didn't really care for it.
I'd really like to remember what it's called, but if you get the chance, there's a trailer for this, and my girlfriend thought it sounded so dumb, and she didn't want to watch the trailer until I forced her to watch it. Mm-hmm. But it's a new Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and it's like based in kind of in China, but also kind of in Russia, and like they're like on opposing sides, and I think Jackie Chan's a prisoner. Anyways, at the end of this fucking trailer, these two big ass dragons, really well done CGI Chinese dragons come out, and it just seems like the most epic, big, stupid fucking clusterfuck of a movie I've ever seen, and I'm dying to see it, and I don't remember what it's called.
I'm really interested in that.
Yeah.
The last thing I saw about Jackie Chan was like a while ago. I think it was 2018. He did the what's it called, The Foreigner, which that was a great movie.
Dude, I didn't think I was gonna like it. I can't remember who I watched it with. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I watched it because Jackie Chan historically hasn't done a lot of like rated R movies, at least not in like my lifetime, not when I was growing up. He did like a lot of family friendly and then Jackie Chan Adventures, and then they were like, oh, this is like Jackie Chan's Taken, and I was like, yep, that's it, Iron Mask. Yeah, dude, okay. You gotta save that trailer, guys. It's called Iron Mask. Look up the trailer for it. It's insane. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, so Jackie Chan did Foreigner, and I was like, this is gonna be what
is that Arnold?
Yeah, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger dressed up as like
a pirate,
Civil War like red coat. I don't understand or he's British. I don't know what that is supposed to be. Maybe he is a pirate. Who knows?
I think it actually came out. It looks like they have the full entire movie on YouTube.
Really?
So I might pay for it.
Is the whole movie out?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think it's really smart of Foreigner's phenomenal. I think it's really smart of HBO Max though. I think that HBO
put it
Max.
Down. I'm so sorry. It's just so stupid looking.
It looks great.
But I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I love cheesy shit.
If it's out, I'm gonna watch it like tomorrow.
Speaking of cheesy like fighting movies, did you ever get into Ip Man at all?
Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing the first one. To be honest, I know there's like 4 of them or something like that. Mm-hmm. I've never seen the sequels, but I remember seeing the first one and being like, fuck. Like,
yeah, I think the cool 5th one came out probably like 2 months ago on Netflix.
Really?
So,
is there 5 of them? Wow.
Yeah, I fucking love it, man.
There was one, again, Jackie Chan was in it, so was Jet Li, and the white kid from Sky High. You remember Sky High? Remember that Disney?
Kinda.
It was a Disney movie where they go, like, the kids of superheroes, the kids of, like, superpowered people.
That sounds familiar.
They go to this high school. It's in the clouds, right? And they
it's all like red and blue and everything like that.
Yeah. Okay, like his dad was like kind of like Superman, Captain America.
Yeah.
And anyway, so the main kid from that, he was in this movie, and it had something to do with the Monkey King, and it had something to do, I don't know, but it was a crazy Jackie Chan movie. And again, I love shit like that. I just love the I think I'm just like a closeted kung fu movie fan. You know what I mean? Just
I mean, during y'all's live stream this past Saturday, I was just murdering like episodes of Black Dynamite. So I'm all on it right now. And I saw the scene that you were talking about whenever they're doing the race war.
He kicks him out the back of the truck.
Yeah, it was a race war. He was driving like a black version of Kit, and then car ended up blowing up, and he like rolls through the finish line. He's just is
that what that was? That's right. Yeah. Just every time he hit the ground, God. Guys, watch Black Dynamite, please. What's that on HBO Max now?
It's on HBO Max, and I think it's on Hulu as well.
Really?
Yeah, anything that has Adult Swim.
Adult Swim is between, both of them have the licenses for that stuff. Oh, here's a weird thing. I didn't write this down, but just before we move on, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is asking people to please do not watch the Chappelle Show. They took it off of Netflix at his request. So basically the story is that Netflix acquired, so they have a deal with Dave Chappelle. He did stand up for them. He's put out like really good stuff. He's made them a lot of money, and they acquired the rights to the Chappelle Show, or the rights to stream it at least, because there's multiple streaming platforms that have it. And he called them kind of upset and was like, please take it off. And he explained to them, and he explained on one of his shows that when he had done the Chappelle Show, he was young Dave Chappelle, and they made an awful deal with him, basically took advantage of him, so that after the show ended, he got $0 for any kind of, no royalties for any kind of deals, streaming platforms, anything that could have happened. No DVD sales. He didn't get anything.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of the reason why he disappeared after, I think it was season 3. Just because the popularity of that show is massive. Like, without that show, you wouldn't get Key and Peele. You wouldn't get any other really forms of like black sketch or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
So, like,
and he was upset about it.
Oh, yeah. I'm full in agreement. Like, I love the show. Like, you don't get amazing characters like Rick James and Clayton Bigsby. You don't even get Donnell Rawlings. You don't get Dave, not Charlie Murphy. Or it might have been Charlie Murphy. Isn't that Eddie Murphy's brother? Yeah, Charlie Murphy. You want to get him?
Yeah, rest in peace, Charlie.
You want to get everybody. Like, I totally agree with that. I mean, it just got to HBO Max too, which I hope.
Oh, is it on HBO Max?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think they might have gotten rid of it too. I haven't checked it in a minute, but
well, and he just basically asked. He was like, "Look, this is." It was something that I feel like I was taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
He told Netflix, we have a good relationship. I don't want that to be affected. Please take it off. And they literally were like, okay, yeah. And they took it right off. And I think that's an amazing show of faith, to somebody who they do good business with, and somebody, because it's a big part of his life. So, guys, if you support people, or if you, I know there's a lot of people out there probably like, oh, who fucking cares? Whatever. I want to watch it. I can't really talk that shit. However, if you want to support Dave Chappelle, please don't watch the Chappelle Show.
Right. Or if you just want to watch funny clips, watch it on YouTube. Some random streamers probably put it up. Get like maybe 100 views. So that way they don't really get any like monetization off of it. So
100%.
You can watch great skits off of that, but definitely get off of Netflix and HBO Max for that show.
So the Mandalorian and the Child, who we're going to reveal his name. You guys all know, but I'm not going to say his name until we get into the episode. The Mandalorian and the Child, they're headed to Fortnite, or they're there at Fortnite. I don't know. I haven't played in a while.
Me neither, but I did see it like prior to coming over here.
Right.
And they have the Child as a backpack, I believe.
Yeah, like back bling.
Yeah.
Which
he might have been a glider too. I haven't played
the
it.
Child as a glider.
Yeah, because like the way he jumps down, or no, they put the
would it be his ship? They didn't
Razor Crest, whatever.
Razor Crest. Yeah. So that's really badass.
Like such a cool metal band.
Yeah, because they had the Millennium Falcon as a glider.
Yeah.
I just think that's really neat, because I used to play Fortnite a lot. It was just a fun, stupid game I would get on, and it was a good way for me and my friends out of state to like keep in touch. And I don't even really talk to them anymore, which is sad. But I just used to play all the time, and I was never competitive. I loved derping around and fucking around, trying to get kills and just having fun. But I really did appreciate the like collaborations or the licenses that they got
Yeah.
You know, and I thought they did a really good job. I didn't play much of it, but they did a really good job with the Marvel guys, Aquaman, and you know, I think there was one season it was like pretty much Aquaman.
They had Black Panther. They had a lot of people.
Right, and then they in the past had done, you know, Thanos, and they had done Batman, like 2 different versions of Batman and stuff. Never done a Superman, I don't think, but I just think it's cool. They do a pretty good job, and they add really fun Easter eggs as like different things. Like when the Star Wars was going on, the last Star Wars movie, like you could pick up lightsabers as a weapon.
Yeah.
And there would be these epic, like 30 people lightsaber battles happening, you know,
it's
in
pretty
one
cool.
area.
They've even been having like concerts on there too. They had a Travis Scott concert like earlier in the year.
The Travis Scott concert was lit too.
I think they just had, prior to the Galactus event that just is going on currently, they had a Lil Nas X.
Really?
He dropped a Holiday on there, I believe.
Really?
So,
wow.
Pretty cool. I mean, granted, I don't care for Fortnite at all, but
well, and
they
again,
definitely got a lot of cool stuff in
I
it.
don't play anymore.
Yeah.
And that's not like one of those like I'm embarrassed that no, I thought it was fun. Like I have no problem with people.
Yeah,
who play Fortnite.
I got my fun out of it.
But yeah, I got my fun, and I really don't play. But I do think they do good shit, because I know that when they first started getting popular, they were doing a lot of things without asking. Right? They were getting a lot of trouble for like a lot of the emotes where they were stealing from creators on TikTok and Vine.
Yeah.
They were stealing like that stuff, and they weren't giving credit, and that was a big deal. You know?
I think the case that took that over was the actor from Scrubs, how he does that dance.
Yeah,
because that was like the most popular dance.
Yeah, the original Fortnite dance, that was Donald Faison on Scrubs dancing to the song Poison, and by Belle Biv DeVoe, I think. And it was a big deal, you know, and there was a lot of smaller creators who weren't getting any kind of credit, and it was shitty. It looks like they've cleaned that up, and now they're doing like actual...
Oh yeah, they have. I'm pretty sure they paid them out of pocket.
Yeah,
and they've definitely.
Now I'm sure there's a lot of those smaller creators who are still not getting anything. But
oh yeah, I mean, definitely ones that like got blown up big on Vine and everything like that. What can you do?
But I do like how they do licensing stuff. I think that they do a good job with it. And it's always kind of like they'll take the characters and they'll make them look like their main guy. Like they'll take, like, Batman still looked like the no skin Fortnite dude. I always thought that was funny. But I even think the first time they did Thanos, like they didn't have the license, so they didn't call him Thanos. They called him something else like a couple years ago. But they've cleaned all that up. The Deadpool event was really fun. The Wolverine stuff, you could get Wolverine's classic brown and yellow costume. You could also get like the X-Force stuff. And I think you could get the Weapon X. The stuff like that's just fun. And I think adding stuff like the Mandalorian and the Child, that's just, you know, bully, you know, that's awesome. And I hope people have fun playing that. I got my time taken over with Madden for a long time.
I'm so sorry.
Last year's Madden was great, and I had a lot of fun playing it. Well, it was great. It was great compared to this year, because I had never really gotten into Madden. So I just...
What year did you get in with?
Like last year was when
2020?
was when I first started
Madden
playing.
20?
Yeah, when I first started like playing Madden. I don't know. I just never really... I've never been a video game person.
Right.
But a buddy of mine was just telling me how much fun he has. He was like, yeah, and you build an ultimate team. I'm like, all right, that sounds fun. So
ultimate teams are definitely addictive. I mean, now I'm doing that with a 2K21 for NBA. But Madden, it's been terrible because it's been the same game since 2018.
Yeah. And they still have 4 more years on their contract.
Yeah. Unlike 2021 or Madden 21, like in the back of like the practice fields, if you zoom up and go into the back rosters,
right,
or back rafters per se, it'll say like Madden 18.
Madden 18, Madden 19, yeah. It's
I think even their Rotten Tomato or like whatever Game Informer rating it got, like out of 100, it got 0.2.
Yeah, it was the lowest. God, I can't. Metacritic. It was the lowest Metacritic rating of all time, because Madden 21 came out and all it was like a skin change. It was the exact same game as last year, but it just looked kind of different. You know, everything's still mad expensive. Like if it would take you months to grind and build a really good ultimate team.
Or you could just buy packs.
Versus the kid who can pay $1,000 and get enough, you know,
buy all the ultimate packs,
buy
all the legendaries,
right, and just stack up. So I do hate that. But that's what took me like off of Fortnite and stuff. And I have friends who build ultimate teams in FIFA and stuff, and they really have fun doing that. But I don't know. I'm just not a big video game person, but I do hope whoever is playing the current Fortnite is having fun. You know, I hope somebody's out there having fun playing Madden. You know,
I'm really interested if they're gonna put in like Miles Morales or like any other Marvel characters, because I know they have Iron Man and they have Iron Man's currently the one right now because they're doing the Galactus event. So
I think it is tough because while the Sony Marvel deal really only has to do with the movies, the game rights are still pretty exclusively Sony. Not because Sony owns them,
right?
But it's kind of like they've been working really well together, and we got to keep Spider-Man in the MCU. And I think even the reason why the new Spider-Man game came out exclusive to PS4 is because they're kind of walking that line of if we give a little, they give a little, you know? So they're keeping that close to the vest. I bought Spider-Man Miles Morales. I've had it for weeks. I've played 20 minutes of it. It's not a bad game by any means. I don't want anyone to think that I think it's bad. I just have, I've been busy, but also on my downtime, I haven't wanted to play. I don't know why. I'm sure what's going to happen is I'm going to own it for a year, and then one day I'm just going to get this itch where I'm going to.
In those 20 minutes that you played, did you run into any glitches at all? Because I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter. There's like a lot of hilarious. Like you will be swinging out of nowhere and you'll turn into like a lamp.
Really?
Or like you'll swing past like a convenience store. They'll have like T-shirts and you'll turn into that T-shirt rack.
Right.
But I don't know if that's on PS4 hilarious. Or if that is on PS5. But the creators of Spider-Verse, somebody put it on like Twitter, like, hey, I don't know, I can't think of the name. It goes like, hey, is this going to be in the next Spider-Verse? Question mark with like a laughing face, and it was like Miles Morales swinging around as a lamp, like a heater lamp, and the creator responded just with like a yes and like a dying laughing face.
That's awesome.
So
no,
keep an eye out for that.
The only glitch I had was, and it was pretty early in the game, was like one of the first cutscenes. Like after, so the first 20 minutes you're like fighting Rhino. The first like actual 20 minutes. And then after, so maybe I played like an hour, but like the first 20 minutes you're fighting Rhino, and it's the introduction to the game, and you're learning the controls. You're getting used to Miles Morales, and it's a lot of fun. And then like there was a cutscene after where it's introducing you to his childhood friend, this girl that I guess he had a crush on.
Gwanda?
Gwanda? And it just froze. And then the audio is still going, and I'm like freaking out, like I don't want to miss this, like fuck. And it froze for like a good 3 minutes, and then it just cut, and then it continued going like normal. And I was really freaked out because I was like, I just spent money on this, you know.
That's why I've been holding off. I want to get a PS5, but there's no way I can get one of those.
Yeah, I
scalpers have been taking over that market.
I have just too many things. I don't want to say like I have too many bills or this, that, and the other, because bills, of course, are a thing. But I have too many things I want to buy that are not a PS5.
What's on your Christmas list since we're in December? Like you got like a big key that if money wasn't an issue and bills weren't an issue, what would be your key? Like, I got to have the Omniverse of Marvel or something.
Well, like a key issue?
Just anything in general.
I mean, I have a new gun I'm looking at. If it were... I like that. If it were a book, I would say I really want gosh, I've been looking at so many keys lately. If we're talking about like a cheap key, I really want like a nice copy of, and you sent me one once, but I wanted a nicer copy. First Appearance of Black Lightning.
Right.
And if we're talking expensive key, First Appearance of Reverse Flash, I think I'd really want.
I figured you would have said Detective Chimp.
Yes, which I think is like Rex the Wonder Dog #3, and holy fuck, is there like none on the census? That's a really hard book to find, and when you find them, they're thousands of dollars.
Right.
Oh my god, like no, I like, and I guess Reverse Flash is the same. Because if you find like a nice copy, it's like thousands of dollars. Right. But I really love the Reverse Flash. Sometimes when I'm thinking about that, I'll look up at like my pop wall and be like, am I missing any of you? Thomas Wayne, Batman, I guess I'd really like that.
Did you ever find your Red X at all?
No. I think that's Teen Titans Go number...
I think it was like 13 or something like that.
Yeah, like 13
something with
or
a 3. So
16.
It was like 13,
is it 13?
23.
Yeah, it's
something with a 3.
Somewhere in there, but it's not... It's funny because it's not Teen Titans Go like the current Teen Titans Go. It was back when the original show was on. The book was just called Teen Titans Go.
Coincidence? Think not.
No. What about you? Do you have any like if you had like a major key or major something you'd want?
Definitely Batman Beyond. I'm a big Terry McGinnis fan.
That's a cool one.
But
you're talking about the number one of the mini series, the original, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely want that, and then I would love to get a first appearance of Jon Stewart as Green Lantern.
That's a tough one. That's
it is
really
a tough
good.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's like a raw or like just a really beat up like one whatever, I'd be happy with that. But if I had the money, sure. But
yeah,
money's a little tight.
Those are good ones. I would love a Jon Stewart, Jon Stewart. I'd love a first Terry. I want to get a first Terry in comics, which is the Batman Beyond #1 of the mini series that's attached to the Kids WB show. But I would also love there's a first Terry in comics, which is, I guess, Batman or Superman Batman annual number
22, 23.
No, that's Superman Batman annual #4, but then 22, 23 of
Batman v Superman. That's the one where they show
no, I think
Batman Beyond.
You know what? Yeah. So it's Superman Batman annual #4 is like his first cameo. And then Superman Batman number 22, 23 are like first him as, Batman Beyond. So, yeah, I'd love that. Those are really cool books. Gosh, now you got me in my head about everything I want. There's so many things out there that I just want. But no.
Would you trade all of your keys right now, all these beautiful Teen Titan books, for a 30-minute Zoom meeting with Kevin Smith?
No.
No?
A 30-minute Zoom meeting with Kevin Smith?
Fine, hour 20. Make a full, just you and Kevin, just going deep.
To be honest, I don't think I would, unless I thought, and I know this sounds selfish, unless I thought I would get something out of that.
Ooh.
Like if I thought he would promote us heavy after that, you know what I mean? Like shout us out and we'd get a bunch of listeners. I would probably, I'd sell my keys for that. And I have some really cool keys, I think.
Definitely.
But fuck, that hurts to even think about getting rid of my books.
Do I sell my beautiful books to meet my icon?
Yeah.
Decisions.
Oh, gosh, that would suck. It would be great, but it would suck. Speaking of Kevin Smith, they moved the secret stash from 35 Broad Street in Red Bank, New Jersey to 65 Broad Street in Red Bank, New Jersey. It's a block down, and it is just a bigger space.
Still on Main Street.
Still on
their main street. Or
yeah,
whatever.
Well, technically Broad, but yeah, it's like their main. It's like the boardwalk. And he put out this fucking video that was like, the stash is closing, and I'm like freaking out because I never got to go. I've always wanted to go.
Were you a big? I'm pretty sure you are, but were you a big comic book fan or comic book men fan?
Yeah, huge. I think I've seen all 6 seasons like 4 times. Just because like that's one of those things where if I have nothing I'm like really interested in watching, I'll throw it on just because it's fun. It's like a feel good show for me.
That's like my version of The Office, like how people just throw it on. But they have it on Amazon Prime, and I just always burn through it. Yeah,
that turned into The Office, because I did the same thing with The Office, and again, I've watched The Office like 12 times. And I still love it. It's a good show. But somehow, like at some point, it got to Comic Book Men. Like I watched Comic Book Men all the way through for the first time, and then just every time because sometimes like you burn yourself out on everything. You ever feel like sometimes you're like really diving into content of some sort, like something you're interested in, and then one day you're just like, I just don't want to watch any more of this, and then you look around and you're like, I don't have anything I really want to watch, so you just put on like something like Comic Book Men, and I don't know, fuck around with your phone or something. Sometimes I just burn myself out on content. That was weird.
Are we still good on recording?
Yeah. We're still recording. The lights and everything just flickered.
Booster Gold just came into the background. But no, I'm definitely doing that with Batman Brave and the Bold. Like
really?
I was watching.
I've never been able to do. Is it good?
You haven't?
Is it good?
It is fantastic.
Okay, I want to try. I do want to try.
Really, that is one like fuck all. I mean, definitely not fuck all the Disney movies because you need to watch those.
Fuck all the Disney.
But
movies.
No, I love them. But no, definitely Batman Brave and the Bold. Like if you like Lego Batman, it's definitely kind of on that same vibe, but less like playful. You have Diedrich Bader as the voice of Batman.
Right.
I think like later in the seasons they actually have a Mark Hamill like guest appearance as Mark Hamill, and then he gets abducted by the Joker that's voiced by Mark Hamill and is also abducted by.
Oh, is the Joker voiced by Mark Hamill in that show?
Not in that one, but towards like the ending of it,
Uh-huh.
I think they do like an alternate or whatever. But it has Mark Hamill as himself, Mark Hamill as the Joker, and Mark Hamill as that other character he plays, Taskmaster, not Taskmaster,
the Trickster.
Yeah, Trickster.
Yeah, he was the
It's
Trickster.
just all three of them in
Flash.
a cab, and like they're going on a like road trip. So you can just imagine him like
talking
just on the same mic, and he's just like talking. Comes over to the corner, goes in the Joker voice, goes in the corner. It's just
that's funny,
it's so fun.
That's awesome.
But nah, they have a lot of fun things, and I feel like you would definitely love the Aquaman character that they have. Just the way he portrays him.
That's what I love about like
huzzah to justice, my friend.
Yeah, that's what I like about Harley Quinn, the Harley Quinn show. Like the Kite Man, like hell yeah, you know. And I think Aquaman was kind of like that too, where he was very King Arthur kind of, you know. And it was
very stoic.
It's so dumb, you know what I mean? But
it's great.
It's funny.
I think even Plastic Man is voiced by the voice of SpongeBob. Why am I pulling a blank?
Tom Kenny.
Yeah,
Tom Kenny.
He's the voice of Plastic Man. He does a great job at that.
He's actually been Plastic Man in a lot of things for a long. Like,
really?
Yeah, like a lot of shit. I think he was even Plastic Man going back to like the Justice League Unlimited days, and I love Tom Kenny. I love all those. What'd you say is Diedrich? I can never say his name right. Diedrich Baker.
I think
Diedrich, whatever. Rex Kwando and you know, Napoleon Dynamite. He was so fucking funny. Dude.
He plays a great Batman in that. And then the guy who plays Jaime Garcia is the voice of Terry McGinnis.
Will Friedle?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Jaime Garcia. You talk about Blue Beetle?
Yeah.
Really?
And like Blue Beetle is like definitely like really young, and this is like his first time having the scarab and everything like that.
Yeah.
So he's trying to like improve.
Will Friedle plays him in that?
Yeah,
really?
it awesome. Definitely gives you that like Batman Beyond vibes, but like in a more of a kiddish, not like metal vibe.
Yeah, funny, kind of wholesome way.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
Here's a random question. So a lot of people are against reboots. A lot of people are like, leave it alone. It was great.
Right.
Batman Beyond was very short-lived. If they wanted to revive that and they brought back Kevin Conroy and Will Friedle, would you want it? Would you want? I don't want to ask would you watch it, because of course we'd watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But would you want that?
Well, what are you asking? Like as a like series again?
Yeah, like
or
as a
just
fan.
as like a movie.
No, as a fan. If they wanted to bring back the series, because we're in the age of reboots, we're in the age of bringing shit back. Bringing back animated series is much easier than bringing back like live action anything years later. Same way they did with Samurai Jack, Young Justice, a lot of those shows. If they announced that they were going to bring back the creative team and do it again and the voice actors, would you want that?
I definitely would, only if they go in a slightly like moderate, like I know it's already in the future, but if they like tie in Static Shock more and try to go with that like Justice League Beyond type of vibe.
Okay.
And try to make it like, because like the way they made Justice League.
They had some great episodes of that in Static Shock. Do you remember those Static Shock episodes where they did like basically just, and you got to see old Black Lightning? Mm-hmm. Oh no, it was old Static.
Yeah, you got old Static, you had Warhawk, you had Terry McGinnis, and you had like two others that I can't really think of right now. But
I always loved Superman's future, like that black and silver with that. God, I always thought that was so cool.
Yeah. If they could tie it in with that and then definitely build off of that franchise, then I would soup to nuts. I'd get that tatted.
Well, again, soup like, to nuts. What?
Like that? That's a welding term. Sorry.
That's funny, dude. I think it's really cool because again, DC Future State in the comics is about to happen, and they put out the timeline, and I have one of the books somewhere that I'll let you look at, but
nice.
They put out like the timeline of when these books, so it's like 28 books, and when they're placed. So some of them are in the near future, like 5 years from current. Some of them are like 100,000 years, like, which I think is mostly just like Legion of superhero stuff, which is supposed to be like really far in the future. But in the future, 30 years from now, John Kent, Superman's son, he's Superman. He's the current Superman. And if any of you guys are reading Deceased Dead Planet, John Kent is the current Superman. Damian Wayne is Batman. And it's a phenomenal series, dude. Tom Taylor knows how to write the fuck out of stuff. But Superman, in this book, he's wearing the future Superman shit, the black and silver. And that's the book where they're bringing Red X. Or that's the series of books that they're bringing Red X into continuity. So I think it's really cool because we get to see some of that future Justice League stuff, and one of the books is going to be Justice League and it's going to be set in the future. So I don't know if they're going to tie Terry McGinnis into it. I hope that they do, and I hope they tie Batman Beyond, but I don't know.
I'm a diehard Batman Beyond, so any way they could tie it in, I would buy it.
Well, the thing that's weird is that they're making it like Batman Beyond is the way that they're currently going. They're kind of obsoleting Batman Beyond, which is weird because there's a current Rebirth Batman Beyond book, but the way the continuity is going is like with Damian being
you can keep going.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we do need to talk about this.
Yeah.
With Damian Wayne probably going to take over the cowl in the future, and that one of the books is called The Next Batman, and we think it's going to be Lucius Fox's kid. They're kind of obsoleting Batman Beyond, so I'd be interested in seeing like how they tie it in, because I assume that they're going to tie it in with something they currently have on the shelves, you know. Yeah. But yeah, he just Trey just showed me something that I totally forgot. I did want to write that down. David Ramsey, who plays Diggle, John Diggle in the Arrow in Arrow, he is coming back for what's that show called? The time traveler one.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Thank you, Legends of Tomorrow. He's coming back to not only star in but direct an episode of Legends of Tomorrow, and it said he's coming back as John Diggle and a mystery character, which we all know is the Green Lantern.
Right.
At the end of Arrow on that last episode, the meteor crashed and he found the power ring. So I'm pretty excited. I've long since abandoned the Arrowverse. However, I'm very interested to see him don a power ring. We haven't gotten a Green Arrow, or we haven't gotten a Green Lantern in live action in a very long time. Since 2011. I want it. I want it bad. So I think that's pretty cool. What do you think?
Oh, I'm excited. Definitely Jon Stewart is one of my favorite characters, like hands down all time. Like Phil LaMar's portrayal on Justice League and Justice League
Phil
Unlimited.
LaMar is the fucking goat.
It's amazing to me. He's in my opinion.
Yeah, phenomenal.
But with like Ahsoka getting her live action debut,
right.
I would love to see a Jon Stewart live action debut.
So let me ask you, have you heard about how they're tying, so he's John Diggle, you know, but have you heard about how they're, and I think I've said it on the show a couple times, but do you know how they're tying it into Jon Stewart? So they're playing it as it's the same person, but there was something in one of the episodes where he talked about his stepfather, whose last name is Stewart.
Okay.
And it was just a brief mention, you know, and it's basically, he is Jon Stewart. And maybe he takes up that identity, like if he goes to Oa or if he starts this new life as a Green Lantern, maybe he adopts the Stewart name.
How would you write it? Because I'm just imagining like, my name is John Diggle by the power of Oa, and then just like some like they have in the background Guy Gardner just be like, Diggle, fuck that name.
Yeah,
get a cooler name. All right, Jon Stewart.
I picture it more as, you know, again, he's starting a whole new adventure.
Right.
He's been a Marine, and he's been you know, he worked for like Argus, and his wife works for Argus, and so he's done the whole secret spy shit. He kind of had a persona which I think was originally intended to be like Guardian, but then they gave Jimmy Stewart Guardian on Supergirl, and so he had, I don't remember what they called him, but he had his persona, which I thought looked really dumb. I hated his helmet setup, but I think this is a new adventure, and I think that for whatever reason he's going to have a desire to adopt a different persona. Maybe not like a different personality, but maybe the Diggle name. Maybe he wants to keep that safe, and maybe he feels like if he's going to be a galactic cop, that it's going to invite more threats, and he doesn't want to put his wife and kids at stake. You know what I mean? So
if he does become Jon Stewart, the Green Lantern, how do you think that'll affect the Green Lantern show that they're making on HBO Max?
So that's really interesting, because Mark Guggenheim and Greg Berlanti are the showrunners of both.
Right.
However, they've made it pretty clear that they're not going to intertwine. I don't think that the Green Lantern show is going to be tied in with the Arrowverse, and I think it is going to be connected with the Green Lantern Corps movie that's coming out.
Right.
So they've already said that Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart are not really in the show. And again, probably because they're going to be more main characters of the movie, or, you know, maybe it is going to tie in. I can't assume it's going to tie in with the Arrowverse at all, because if they want to use a different casting for Jon Stewart in the movie,
right,
they don't want to have to explain why it's a different guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they're just going to keep it separate, personally. But I'm excited to see it. Did it say when that's supposed to premiere?
It's just, it got assumed, or not assumed, it got verified that it's happening, but there's no current release date just because of COVID and shootings and all that.
For sure. Well, let's go ahead and jump into, since we're almost at an hour. Let's go ahead and we did it. We vamped.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into this week's episode of The Mandalorian. So this week's episode of The Mandalorian was chapter 13, and it was season 2, episode 5, and it was the biggest, the baddest, the craziest, the fucking awesomest episode of The Mandalorian to date. And why was that? Because we got the live action debut of Ahsoka Tano, played by the wonderful Rosario Dawson.
Hell yeah.
Who I'm such a huge fan of. And it was perfect, Trey.
She's the Thanos of franchises. All she has to do is get Star Trek, and she has the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, seriously. How did you feel, man? I thought it was perfect.
I fucking loved it. I was a big fan of Clone Wars. I loved Rebels. So just seeing Ahsoka, it's breathtaking.
I've never powered through all of Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff. I this definitely makes me want to. But I had seen Ahsoka Tano in merchandise and through. I've watched episodes and she seemed like a very compelling character. I know that the voice actress is very beloved. A lot of people love her, and it just seemed like when I heard it was coming, I was just excited we were going to get a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this shitty little thought in my head that was, are they going to try to give us a Jedi who does not use a lightsaber the whole episode?
And you were wrong.
I was fucking wrong. This episode opens.
There's no way Dave Filoni would have let that happen.
You think?
No way they would have let that happen.
Well,
Dave Filoni.
I don't think.
Because he's the creator of Ahsoka. There's no way that he wasn't going to put her in at the very end of it, or just kind of oh, this is Ahsoka, saves the day.
Right, but sometimes they do it just for dramatic. Like at the end of episode 1 of this season, we got, maybe Boba Fett. It was the actor who played Jango Fett.
Right.
But no, the episode opens with, I guess, people hunting her, and then you just see the twin lightsabers come on, and she just fucks them up. When she walks up to the gates and they're threatening her, and she's basically like, you have a day before I come back here and fuck your shit up. And
I love the beauty of that scene.
But it was so chilling, in your bones. You believed it. Again, Rosario Dawson is a phenomenal actress, and she pulled off the scary, when she was in Daredevil and all the Marvel Netflix shows, you believed she was a badass, dude. She was a stern, not fuck around kind of woman. And when she's standing there looking up at them and they're making threats and all this, and she says, you have a day to give me what I want, or you have a day to fuck off, or whatever. You believed it,
right?
You're like, my God, she's going to hurt you. And so come to find out, obviously Mando, he's flying into town. He's looking for Ahsoka Tano because Bo-Katan said, go find Ahsoka Tano. Tell her Bo-Katan sent you.
Right.
And he wants her to train the child. And he winds up at the town, and this lady, what do they call her? Do you remember what they call her?
I'm pulling a blank, but I'll pull it up.
The Empress, the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The head chick in charge there at their little town. She's like, go kill this Jedi, and I'll give you this staff made of completely Beskar. It's probably the most Beskar he's ever seen, right?
Yeah.
Pure Beskar, spear, staff, whatever. And and he goes, okay, bet. He doesn't say okay. I think one of the big points is he doesn't agree to anything. But he goes, where can I find this Jedi? And she points him in the right direction. And when he meets Ahsoka Tano, I got so giddy as a little schoolgirl, because not only was she not afraid or not worried. Let's see, who is Diana Lee Inosanto as magistrate, Morgan Elizabeth. Okay, so the magistrate. She wasn't afraid of the Mandalorian. And I love how confident her confidence reverberated through that whole entire show. And she mind connects with the Force with the child and discovers his name is Grogu, which is still not a cool name.
I love it.
I'll get used to it, but fuck, I love calling him Baby Yoda.
I know everybody's still going to call him Baby Yoda, but I just love Grogu. It's just such a dumb name.
It's
And then
just
like I'm a
such a
big American
dumb
Dad
name.
fan, so like one of my favorite characters on American Dad is Rogu,
Right.
the little Roger alien.
Right.
So it just makes
So
me
explain
smile.
that to me, because I remember seeing that episode a long time ago. But what was the deal with Rogu?
Roger got drunk, got pregnant because of
Okay, right. It wasn't Roger.
Yeah.
It was like a clone or a baby.
No,
or
Roger
something.
ended up having like a baby and then
Right.
didn't want to get rid of it, or was going to get rid of it.
Right.
But then Steve fell in love with it, and then that's how you got Rogu.
My lord. Yeah. I think Grogu's a weird name. But again, it is what it is. I never get tired of the child.
Did you see all the fan arts of everybody photoshopping Rogu's face onto Goku's face?
Really?
Yeah, because
no.
Grogu, Goku.
That's
so
funny.
Every like key scene is all Baby Yoda face.
So let me tell you my one main complaint.
Right.
They did the whole. It was fun because they referenced Anakin, right? Because she was there for the Clone Wars, and she was there as Anakin was, like in the Clone Wars.
She was Anakin's Padawan.
Right. So she was trained by Anakin, and
she saw the turn of Anakin into Darth Vader,
which
and
is
then
weird
in
because
Rebels,
again
she fights Vader. And
really,
spoiler alert, she dies.
Quote unquote. Clearly, she didn't.
She dies, and then she gets brought back by these like weird like time travel whale. It's a big thing.
So since you've seen all of that, have you seen all of Rebels and Clone Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where the fuck was she in episode 3, at least? I could see the skip between episode 2 and 3. And that's when
Mandalorian?
No. Of Star Wars. Star Wars, the prequels. And
right.
So I understand that the show, The Clone Wars and Rebels, that all takes place basically after episode 2, right? So why was she not in episode 3? Was that because she was quote unquote killed?
Kinda, and then she fell off with the Jedi Council because she was blackmailed as like someone who tried to put an assassination tip on like a Jar Jar Binks type character that was like high up in the Senate.
Right.
And it proved that she wasn't, even though no one listened to her.
They were Gungans?
I think so.
Yeah.
And no one would believe her, and then Anakin wouldn't believe her, so she felt betrayed. So then she wanted to go on her own and discover herself.
Okay.
And then that's where you kind of get tied back into Rebels. But
and
that's
Rebels
kind of the jump
takes place after episode 3. He's already Vader, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like right at like where he is Vader. Like not like right whenever he becomes Vader, but kind of like right in that little gap right there.
Okay. Well, that's awesome, man. I really.
It's definitely a lot of content to burn
So do you
through.
watch Rebels after Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Clone Wars and then Rebels.
I mean, regardless, you can watch whichever one you want to watch, and
sure.
you'll still get the gist of it. But for me, definitely start with
nerd for like order, like
continuity and everything.
When I'm reading big like storylines in books, I have to look up. I have on my phone at all time like the proper reading order for these because there's tie-ins and stuff, and I don't want to read them out of order or anything.
So did you do that with like the MCU movies, like for all the Marvel movies? Like, did you start with like Cap or Captain Marvel, and then so on?
No, you're talking like in chronological order.
Yeah, are you that kind of guy?
I've never gone back and watched them all the way through. I grew up watching them. Like I've seen every single one as they come out.
Okay.
So I've never gone back and been like, I want to watch 22 movies. Personally, I don't have the patience to do that, but I will pick my favorites and watch them, over and over. And sometimes I like to go back and watch, like, I just watched The Incredible Hulk again recently.
Nice.
And I forgot how good a movie I thought that was.
Yeah. Did you ever play the PS2 game for it?
No, I heard it was awful.
I loved it. It was
really
so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like to remind myself of, because again, I thought it was great. It's super underrated. And Captain America, The First Avenger. I really like that movie, and I really enjoy that movie as a whole. And people praise The Winter Soldier, which is a good movie.
Yeah.
But to me, it doesn't have the charm that Captain America: The First Avenger has. And but yeah, I can't go back and watch 22 movies. If I did, I probably would though watch them in chronological order.
Well, you have Disney Plus, and they already have the breakdown ready for you.
Yeah,
all you gotta do is just press play.
I probably would do that if I went back and watched them because I just like watching things, and it's like I will sometimes watch the Star Wars movies 1 through. You know what I mean? Because I don't understand the people who are like Like, no, you have to watch the originals first and then go to the like, no, if you watch them in chronological order, like sometimes it's really cool because like they reference each other a lot.
Right.
And there's sometimes things in the original Star Wars movies that you didn't realize they intentionally put in the prequels
A lot of times.
just to call back to it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you know, so if you watch it in order, it sounds like they're calling back to that movie. It's like, fuck, that movie was made 30 years before, you know.
Right.
It's cool.
It's amazing. But definitely with Ahsoka, it'd probably be best to start on Clone Wars if you wanted to get like in depth with that character.
Right. And that's what I want to do. How many seasons is it?
I think it's like
five, right? Yeah.
5, maybe technically 6 with that new one that just came out earlier in the
final
month.
season.
Yeah, but it's really insane just seeing like the growth of that character, because in the beginning, like Ahsoka is just so young and green and just brand new to Anakin, and Anakin didn't want nothing to do
to the Ahsoka we see.
Yeah, because their race, they're like tentacle hair things.
Right.
It determines their age, kind of like if
you
cut a tree and everything like that. That's like the only backlash that Rosario got on this episode.
Was it wasn't as long.
Yeah, but for practicality, I get it.
Yeah, I think they put out a statement on why. I didn't read why it was shorter. I thought it still looked great.
Oh, yeah, it was still awesome, but they were thinking it was going to be like, why am I pulling a blank on that character?
Because in the show, it's like down to her waist almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're long.
Yeah, like towards the end, whenever she fights Vader and everything, it's almost like wrapped around as a belt. But
oh, really?
Yeah, they get super long just to like show their like wisdom and age and everything, kind of like dreadlocks in a sense.
Well, then there's got to be a reason why they were shortened for the show. I got to look up what they released the statement of, because if that's that
it's just practicality because you're shooting real life.
Well, right, but if that's that big a part of the character's like backstory, I'm sure there's like some sort of reasoning behind it, you know.
Yeah.
Or at least something they made up with, because you can't just have tentacle titties flying everywhere as you're like, you know, she's doing a lightsaber battle. So
I dig the whole entire like concept, the outcome of how she ended up looking in this episode. I'm so grateful for it.
She's
like,
gorgeous,
it turned out perfect.
I first saw her in the movie Rent. When I was growing up, I was a really big like musical theater person, and I still am a fan of like Broadway. And my favorite musical to this day, ever since I was like 11 years old, is Rent. And not a movie an 11-year-old should see, but they made the movie. It's amazing songs. And while she wasn't in the original cast, and most of the movie cast was the original cast, she played Mimi Marquez. And she was just so good, man. She had such an amazing voice, and she was just really great at playing her role. And then I started seeing her in random stuff, you know. I saw Clerks 2,
right?
You know, as Becky, and I love that movie. And then you start seeing her like again the Marvel Netflix shows, and she's just here, and now it seems like she's in more and more all the time.
Yeah.
And finding out that she was going to be Ahsoka Tano, I was so excited. So they meet Ahsoka Tano, and he's basically, you know, she tries to fight the Mandalorian at first, and he's basically like, well, Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan sent me. You know, like,
it's so insane, that scene of them fighting whenever Ahsoka gets the drop on the Mandalorian. Yeah. Just seeing like the density of that Beskar armor, like literally taking 2 blades on one forearm and not even like leaving a dent. That is insane.
So it really did show how like OP Beskar is. Right. And I know that that's like in the lore already. That's been a thing. So it's really cool to see like just how impressive his Beskar is, because it never gets scratched.
Yeah.
No matter how many like blasters hit him, no matter how many like he was getting chuffed up with lightsabers and stuff. Nothing.
Yeah, because in the Clone Wars, like what is Kevin Feige's character? He was in Death Watch and everything like that.
Right.
And he ended up getting he was trying to get Mandalore, he got the Darksaber, and then he fights Darth Maul, and it just goes straight through his Beskar armor right in his chest when he gets slayed.
Really?
So it's just insane seeing like the depth of like how they're not really changing Beskar armor, just showing how OP it is. It's really awesome.
Right.
Because in like the Clone Wars and everything like that, and in like comic books, whenever you get shot and you have Beskar armor, it definitely like pings off and you don't get hurt from it.
Right.
But just seeing like how intense, like you see a lightsaber in this episode too, whenever she like hops up and she slices those people in half and then does like the double chop and cuts down the giant like bell gong with like it's butter.
Yeah.
It's insane seeing how like that compares to like Beskar armor in my opinion.
Well, so they meet Ahsoka Tano, and he explains to her, Bo-Katan sent me, please, chill out. And she calms down, and he explains, I was tasked with bringing the child to you, and she goes, is he a member of the Force? And he's like, you mean his powers? Mm-hmm. She was like, yeah, you fucking idiot. The Force. And she like mind connects and finds out, the baby's name is Grogu. Mm-hmm. And again, keep in mind, this baby is 50 years old, which is still blowing my mind. Right. And the complaint, that's what I was going to say. The complaint I had was they immediately went I can't train this child. I sense much fear in it, Mm-hmm. And I've seen what fear can do. And obviously they were talking about Anakin. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, in baby fucking Yoda, in Grogu, mm-hmm. This dude's chilling. You know what I mean? If he's scared, it's because he's a fucking baby and they keep getting attacked.
Right.
What are you talking about? Like, no, don't do this to me. I want to see this fucking kid get taught by Jedis. And then, well, go ahead with what you were going to say.
No, just seeing that, like, I understand why they went with that route, just to tie it back in with Ahsoka's connection to Anakin.
Right.
And then
I get that.
With the connection of how attached Grogu is to Mandalorian.
That was what was cool. She said, this child sees you as a mm-hmm. father. And you can tell he clearly cares about the child very much. And of course I was like, oh, yes, I want that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just felt like
I can see where it kind of rubs you wrong in that way.
Yeah.
I definitely can see it, but just for continuity's sake, how they tie it all back
you're right.
And just hit those sweet notes, it fits perfect.
And so basically he explains, the magistrate sent me to kill you. Mm-hmm. I didn't agree to anything. I won't. But you got to help me out, help me find other Jedi, or help me, take I think the initial deal was, if I help you with the magistrate, will you take the child and train it?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah. So they go back and they fuck up the town. I loved the standoff because you have Ahsoka Tano fighting the magistrate. She has the Beskar spear, mm-hmm. and Ahsoka Tano has her lightsabers, and they're going at it. Clearly, the magistrate doesn't have nearly the prowess that Ahsoka Tano has, mm-hmm. and Mando's just staring down her like general. Mm-hmm. He's blasting people and he's taking out whatever, but then he has this like Mexican standoff, or not a Mexican because that's like multiple people, right?
The Western standoff.
Yeah, it's like a Western standoff, like at high noon, and the guy's like, there are causes that you lay down your life for, and then there are causes that you don't. And this is not one.
Right. They're both hired guns and they both have an agreement.
Right.
Either we could do this or we can't do it.
Right.
It's really insane. And then this whole time there's the not IG-11 but the assassin droids that are
right.
Ahsoka destroys two of them, and then one of them is up on top of the roof and you don't know where he is the whole time.
Right.
So it just adds that drama to where is he going to get the drop on Mando or what's all going to happen?
Well,
and it plays out really well.
He says, I'm not going to lay my life down, and he drops his gun. Mm-hmm. And then Mando like takes his hand away from his gun, and the guy pulls another pistol, and Mando obviously gets him.
Right.
And it was just a really cool gunslinger scene, just a really cool like, fuck you, pop pop.
Yeah.
And he kills him, and you flip back to Ahsoka Tano. They're fighting, and she kills the magistrate.
No, she holds the blade to her.
I was gonna say, did she?
Because she gets the Beskar spear away from her,
right,
and then holds the blade to her, and that's where she asked for Admiral Thrawn.
Yes, thank you. So she said, "Where is your leader? Where's General Thrawn or Admiral Thrawn? Is it Admiral or General?
I think it might be Admiral.
Look it up for me.
Yeah.
Be my fact checker.
Nice. I'm the computer guy.
I'm really bad at talking and like searching things, so I appreciate you having your phone at the ready. But basically the name Thrawn got brought up in everybody's Star Wars lightsaber just
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah,
can't forget the Grand.
And so everybody got a lightsaber stiffy, and I have never read the books. So I don't know anything about Thrawn. Do you know anything about Thrawn?
Kind of. I never really was big into the books at all.
Right.
But from Clone Wars, I believe,
was he in
where
Clone
it
Wars?
left, or not Clone Wars, where Rebels ended up leaving off. Grand Admiral Thrawn was like Ahsoka's like main target and focus on who to get after.
Really?
And this is where it kind of picks up in the Mandalorian,
really,
where she is trying to like, that's her whole entire goal. She's not doing this for like the Jedi Council or anything like that. She's doing it to like settle a score type of thing.
Okay.
And she's looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is really interesting because he is like one of the like if you have like the Emperor and Vader, and then you have someone under Vader, that's like Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Okay.
Just because he's like a brutal tactician who like wipes out people and wipes out races and total planets with ease.
I know he was big in the books, but I didn't realize he was in Rebels. So it's kind of cool that the same storyline from Rebels, Ahsoka looking for Thrawn, picks up now. It also shows you that Ahsoka has been unsuccessful for many years.
Right.
But I do think that's pretty cool. Again, I think we're gonna get Darth Maul in this series.
You think they're gonna get him by the end? Because we only have like 3 more episodes.
I don't think they're gonna get him this season, but I think especially with the Darksaber and especially with we got him in Rogue One. Was it Rogue One? No, Solo. He was like a hologram in Solo. And again, I think they've changed their game plan as far as what they're going to do movies wise because of the flop of some of the main Star Wars movies. But I think Darth Maul is going to come into this show at some point. I think that's why they're tying Ahsoka and then Thrawn and Moff Gideon and stuff. I think it's going to lead to a bigger picture.
Like with them, like I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but they're talking about making a Boba Fett series,
a mini series. Yeah,
I think they're also talking about making an Ahsoka series, like tying in Ahsoka and Bo-Katan, tying them into it because Bo-Katan wants to get the Darksaber so she can claim Mandalore,
right?
And then Ahsoka is looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn, so they might like tie all of them around into it. But I would definitely love to see.
And who knows? Maybe they'll end up lovers, and it'll be some weird.
I mean, hey.
Big storyline where they both get what they want.
That'd be pretty intense.
You know, but they found love in the darkest part of the galaxy.
Yeah, I am really intense on it, or not intense, but really like anticipating. Not intense.
I'm really intense on it.
I'm really anticipating like just the outcome of everything, especially since at the ending of that episode,
right?
You have your almost like farewell scene. You get all sappy where Mando is about to give up
the child,
Grogu.
Yeah.
And then Ahsoka ends up flaking on her deal, but then says there is like a way that you could tell if this is what Grogu wants to do, and then talks about Grogu to like find out his true intentions or like his force and all that if he wants to do this.
Like a force connection.
Yeah, take him to the mountain.
Take him up the mountain and feed Madame Zeroni.
Take him to the mountain.
Let Madame Zeroni
my sister went down to the mountain. Shout out all my YMH fans.
It was really weird because and again, I think I kind of got annoyed at it, but she was basically like take him to the mountain and do this and call out for other Jedi, you know, and if there's another one nearby, they'll come. Not that there's many of us left. And I'm like, you're a Jedi, just fucking train him.
Right.
Don't leave the show. Be a part of the group now.
Right.
You know.
But she's definitely still, like, in this series, like, where it's left off, she is still estranged from the Jedi, and that's why she's kind of, like, away from it.
Right.
But I am really curious on, like, who is the Jedi that they're talking about, if they are going to bring the Skywalkers into this series.
I don't think they will.
I don't think so. Or if they're going to make it like Obi-Wan.
I think we're going to get... What if we get, like, a really fucked up Mace Windu? Oh, that'd be cool.
You've been seeing those pictures, too? Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That'd be cool. Or again, maybe we'll get characters from books and stuff that we didn't get in the main movies. If they bring if they bring the fucking Skywalkers into this, I'll honestly be kind of annoyed.
I would too.
This show has proven, not that I don't love the movies, I do love the movies, and I'm not nearly the hater on the new trilogy as other people are. I very much enjoy them. If it's Star Wars, I like it.
Mando is like going through the whole entire season. He's getting beat up, bloody, and like he finally finds the Jedi. And then it's like you have the Jedi robe, so you can't see who it is. And are you the one who's supposed to take care of Grogu? And then it turns around, surprise, motherfucker! I'm not taking care of Grogu. It's just Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson.
I'm not taking care of that motherfucker.
Tired of this motherfucking Baby Yoda on this motherfucking mountain. No, I just think that this show has proven that you don't need the Skywalkers at all to have a good Star Wars movie. Or, you know, property, and B, it's almost better without the Skywalkers. So, you know, I think Rogue One, other than Empire, is probably one of the best Star Wars movies like ever made. It's really phenomenal. I liked Solo. I understand why people didn't like Solo. I very much liked it. I didn't need to see Harrison Ford be Solo for me to enjoy Solo, and I love Woody Harrelson, so that movie was great.
The only thing I would have loved differently about Solo is if you had Billy D and Han Solo or Harrison Ford. They're in a bar and they're having like a card game, and like how they did for the Millennium Falcon. If like they have an old version of them doing that, and then they're telling the story through like an old man's perspective.
That is kind of cool.
Of that.
That would be neat.
That would have been neat for that.
That would have been a nice little add-on. But that's the episode. That's the Mandalorian episode. If you're listening to this on Thursday when this episode comes out, again, I'm sorry that it's a late episode. But I'm not that sorry because it's a day. Chill the fuck out.
Right.
But
we'll be back on Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Next week will be on schedule. Please again check out our social medias. Bat in the Hat Podcast on Facebook, at Bat Hat Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And real quick before I go, I am going to shout out some of the books that are coming out this week. If you're listening when this comes out, they came out we're recording on Wednesday, so they came out today.
Just because it's Thursday, does that mean they can still get their books, Steve?
So the best bet, I'm going to shout these out because they are important books. If you haven't gotten them in your pull, again, you need to add books to your pull at least 3 weeks before the book comes out. That's final order cutoff.
And how do you go about getting a pull list?
So if you want a pull list, basically what a pull list is, you're going to go to your local comic shop. If you're here in Jacksonville, Mythical Mountain on San Jose, and you're going to sign a form, and it's basically you're going to fill it out what books you want. You're going to put your ongoing books on there, and every week as books come out, they're going to be there. We're going to order extra for you, and we're going to set one aside in your box so you never miss your books. That's the best way to not miss an important book. You get previews. There are books that come out 3 months in advance telling you what's going to come out. Anytime there's a book is coming out, as long as you're at least 3 weeks ahead of the release date, call us, email us, Facebook, whatever, add it to your pull. Now, once you add it to your pull, we're going to set those books aside every week, and you come in every week and you buy them. That guarantees you are going to get 15% off. You're going to get free bags and boards with those books, but that guarantees that you're not going to have to hope there's one on the shelf because we ordered extra just for you. Now, if you do not pick up your pull books and all of a sudden it's been a month and you have 4 weeks of pull books stacked up, we're going to attempt to call you. If you don't pick up those books, we will cancel your pull. And we'll sell your books to other people if we can, because it really hurts. Once a book comes out and it's been out for a few days, unless it's like a key issue or it's a hot book, it immediately becomes 10 times harder to sell. So we get stuck with an inventory. Again, we're ordering extra books just for y'all, but we do want y'all to get books and not have to miss them. So if you have books that you know ahead of time you want, add them to your pull. Make sure that you're not hoping that they're on the wall. Now, these books are big. There's 4 books that I want to shout out for this week. And again, no harm, no foul if you don't get them. Just make sure you're looking at previews and start a pull list for the future. Batman Catwoman #1 just came out. Batman Catwoman is kind of I think it's only going to be 15 issues. 12.
That's the Tom King run,
Tom King. So it's basically finishing Tom King's run. They ended his Batman run early because they wanted Tynan to step in with his plans for Joker War, right? The Batman Catwoman, the stuff he was going to end it with, they were like, we can totally do this in a miniseries. There's no reason that, we can't. So it was good for him. It was good for Tynan. Tom King. But what's really amazing about it is not only is it kind of ending his run and it's a contained Batman Catwoman story, they're bringing into continuity the Phantasm.
Oh, really?
From Batman the Animated Series, Mask of the Phantasm, and it is going to be Andrea Beaumont from the show. That's amazing. I love when they bring these characters into comics. Harley Quinn was created for Batman the Animated Series back in 1998, 97, whatever. Right. And her first appearance was in Batman Adventures 12. That book is now worth thousands of dollars in good condition now. Get a hold of Batman Catwoman 1. Get a hold of the whole series because these books are going to be worth something. It's going to be the first appearance of the Phantasm in comics.
Do you follow Tom King on Twitter?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's such a fun follow.
He's a really fun follow. Every morning he posts a picture of his dog just to say good morning, and I live for that. I love...
Posts his dog all the time, and I love that he responds to, like, people that are, like, interested in the book and everything like that. There was this one lady, like, I swear by this cover art, are they going to fuck? And then he literally was like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, he said that they were going to bang in the comment. I think that's awesome. Really important book. I say really important. Like, I'm really excited to read it.
Oh, definitely.
But it is a very cool book. Tom King is a phenomenal writer. He currently he has a lot of projects right now. He's doing Rorschach, which is a 12-issue miniseries. He's doing Strange Adventures, another 12-issue. His books are best written in miniseries format because, like, he did a 12-issue miniseries called Mr. Miracle. And it was really tough to read week by week, or every other week when it came out. But when I got to binge read, I bought the trade, and then eventually hunted down the issues. It was a phenomenal book. He's a phenomenal writer. He's ex-CIA. Like, dude's awesome. He really gets Batman, and he really has fun writing the covert side of Batman. Like, Tynion has lost believability for me. I think Tynion's a great writer, but being a CIA operative, Tom King really knew how to make it feel believable. Right. He knew how to make it feel like if Batman were actually operating, how would we make him as believable and covert as possible? And he did that, and it's really phenomenal. Deceased Dead Planet number 6 is out today. I believe that's the last issue of Deceased Dead Planet. Tom Taylor, who writes that book, phenomenal writer, writes for both Marvel and DC. And this is I get tripped up saying Deceased. This is DC's zombie book. It's actually the sequel, technically the third book in his line. And there's 4 of them because there is also an online exclusive book called Deceased Hope at World's End. And every bit of it's fantastic. He really makes you, like, gut check as people are murdered. And
yeah, the storyline is definitely my, like, go for like the year. Like, if I had to give an award, it would be this storyline.
Yeah, I mean,
it's amazing.
Since this is the sequel to the first one, there's been a time jump. So Jonathan Kent, the son of Superman, he is the new Superman. Damian Wayne is Batman. Any character that you're attached to is going to die. And it's really phenomenal. And I suggest you guys pick that up. Justice League Dead Winter just started today. That is their again, they just finished, or they're finishing technically Death Metal, right? So as they're finishing Death Metal, they kind of are getting into this, like, I think 9-issue spread across different books winter special. And it's not like a holiday kind of thing. It's more like a serious, like, there's like a Frost King or somebody murdered.
Is there like a little synopsis of like what it is, or how would you describe it?
I would definitely, it's definitely made specifically for the holiday season. However, it's more like there's a Frost King and he's freezing. It's like a serious Captain Cold book. Like, he's freezing the world, and the Justice League is having to deal with that. And they're only doing that to fill in the gap between Death Metal, and then in January you get Future State starts. So Future State is going to be a 2-month event, and it's going to be, again, like 28 books, and it's going to be really phenomenal. But they kind of needed something in the middle, and it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like, again, it's not exactly lighthearted. It looks like it's more serious. What's his name? Mike Janine. He's doing a lot of the art for it, and he's phenomenal. And I think it's just going to be, but they definitely hammered hard on it's Christmas time. We're going to do an
cold out,
ice themed. The whole world's going to be frozen over, like, kind of thing. And then the last book I wanted to shout out is Daredevil number 25. The only reason I wanted to shout this out is because in Daredevil 24, which just came out last week, they did back-to-back Daredevils.
Nice.
The trial of Daredevil started. Daredevil was arrested, and they had a deal with him where he could keep his identity a secret, and they're going to try him as Daredevil. And he, as a Catholic person with all the remorse in the world, is like, okay, I'm going to stand trial. I'll accept the outcome. I'm not going to, I deserve this. He believes he's the reason that man is dead, right? So he is standing trial as Daredevil. And in number 25, you're going to see the results of that trial, him going to jail. But the reason I wanted to really shout this out is a good friend of mine. His name is Will. I'm not going to say his last name, but we call him Wet down at the store. That's my boy Wet. He bought the original artwork for that cover.
Oh, really?
Months ago.
Where did he find that at?
Off the artist store.
Nice.
I think it's Mike Cicchetto. So Cicchetto has been doing all the covers. Zdarsky is doing the writing, and So a couple months ago, now Will is the biggest Daredevil fan I've ever met. He truly, I think he has almost a complete run of the original.
Wow.
Like 1 through 500 or 1 through whatever. You know what I mean?
That's insane.
He's a huge Daredevil fan. Very, very nice guy. Helps us out at the shop all the time with technical problems, and I couldn't say nicer things about him. Will, we love you.
Who's his Daredevil?
Huh?
Is it Charlie Cox or
who's
is it
his Daredevil? I think he really is a fan of Charlie Cox. But I think he's kind of like
Affleck.
me. Nobody would say Ben Affleck. You know, I actually enjoy that movie just because it's so dumb.
Right.
But and you know I love Ben Affleck. He's my Batman. But yeah, Will, and again, I don't want to put his business out there, so I won't say how much it cost. But it was a pretty penny, and he got the original artwork, and he has it framed at his house now in big poster, size.
That's awesome.
Of the original cover art for Daredevil number 25, and it's Daredevil in like orange jumper, with like an orange face mask on his head, and he's like hanging through the bars, and
it's pretty badass.
Oh, it's so cool. And he brought it in to show us, and I was like, "Why is this here? Why the fuck are you taking it out in public? Put it in a bulletproof case." Like,
he folded it up and threw it back in a backpack.
It's got creases and shit now.
Nice.
No. He had it. Obviously, it was delivered like in a tube, very finely rolled, and
white glove treatment and all.
Yeah. Really, really, really cool shit. And so he custom ordered a frame for it, and I think it's like I think the frame was also just because he went with like thick glass, and he wanted a really nice one, so yeah, that cost some money. And again, not to put his business out, I don't want to get into specifics, but I just think it's really cool because as nerds, sometimes we treat ourselves with these stupid, expensive, awesome things, and good for you, Will, because that's phenomenal. I treated myself when I had to sell some things to get it,
right?
But I treated myself when I got that 9/4 Signature Series New Teen Titans 2 for Deathstroke. Yeah. And immediately after he bought that cover art, I started searching. You know how hard it is to find like George Perez, like cover art, like for anything. I wanted a New Teen Titans cover, like original artwork from George Perez.
Right.
George Perez doesn't have a fucking website. He's not on social media. Like, he doesn't have an art vendor that he goes through. Nothing. George Perez holds on to his shit. There are some circulating, like on eBay, but I haven't found a single cover. It's all like interior artwork.
Right.
So the one I was looking at buying was still like $2,000, and maybe it was like $750 or something like that. It was an interior cover, but it had one of the panels had a really clean shot of Nightwing and Starfire next to each other, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a cool one."
Those are definitely going to be your finds on like heritage auctions.
Heritage, yep, 100%.
Where it's going to be like someone's going to bid like
or
90 grand for it
or stuff like that. Yeah. Cool shit though. So good for you, Will. Guys, go check out Daredevil number 25 in stores now. And thank you guys again so much for watching. We're right at an hour 30, which is not, or hour 32, which isn't super long. I honestly thought it was going to be a shorter episode, but I just have so much fun talking to my man Trey here. Sometimes we ramble on, and Trey, thank you so much for being on the episode again this week.
Anytime. Can't wait to be back.
Basically being on call because this week's been so hectic. He's been texting me every day like, are we recording tonight? And I'm like, no, let's do tomorrow. And he's like, okay.
There's that, and like the whole debacle about getting the comfy chairs over here.
Yeah, I know.
Like from episode 1 that I was on to like now. It's like, yeah, we'll do it on Saturday. What about Sunday?
Oh, you're talking about those chairs? Yeah, I feel so bad about that. We got to figure out those chairs.
Right?
That's why I'm. This room is a mess because no, seriously,
I'm gonna cleaning it.
So, well, I'm not. My girlfriend said she was gonna come over. Of course, I'll clean it. But I'm telling you, dude, she is an organization master. Like, she said, just give me a day, and you help me, and I'll tell you where to put everything, and it'll be perfect. I'm like, fuck yeah. Come on over.
But hey, once we get that, we can get into the visual aspects of this. Maybe we can get onto YouTube. Maybe we can start a Patreon.
I've been looking into camera stuff to get, because this camera won't work for that long form filming.
Right.
Because like Canon, like this is made for photography technically.
Right.
So it'll only film 30 minutes at a time. And so I'm looking into getting something that's made for video,
I mean, even for the time being, like we normally go like an hour to like hour 30.
Right.
We can run it off an iPhone, put it on a tripod.
Oh,
you got all the lights up in here.
You're not wrong.
We can make it work, but
yeah,
we're definitely going to come out with a great
outcome. Because I got
outcome.
a 10-foot charging adapter, so we could technically record it off of an iPhone. I bet you, and this is not a joke, if we set up an iPhone and had it record and we use that as the video camera plugged in, that bitch will be red hot by the time we're done.
I mean,
that shit will
that's
heat
what
up.
Joey Diaz does for not the church. He does Joey Diaz like morning joint or whatever. But that's what he does.
Not the church, the weed smoking one.
Yeah, it's not the church of what's happening now. It's Joey Diaz's joint or whatever. But...
What's going on? But yeah, dude, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you everybody who's listening and continues to listen. And I promise we're trying to pump out more content. It's just been crazy lately. It's been hectic, but again, we got good friends like Trey here and people wanting to help. So hopefully we're going to come bring, like cool new stuff to you guys here soon. And other than that, Trey, you got anything to tell the people?
Just with the holiday seasons coming around, I know it's going to be really hectic, like trying to get gifts for everybody and worrying about bills.
PS5s.
Definitely trying to like give gifts and everything like that, but definitely be aware of your mental health. Like I know for the holidays, it's really hard, especially if you can't see loved ones with COVID going on, or if you don't have loved ones, if you don't have friends or whatever. Reach out to anybody. I know they got real sad and everything, but it's definitely
if you have no one,
right? If you have no one and you want to be Batman and eat lobster thermidor, but definitely awesome. Definitely reach out to the Bat Hat Pod. We'll definitely answer any inboxes. We're
hell yeah,
phone call away. Definitely tell your loved ones everything that you love them.
Maybe we can even set up like a holiday live stream like the week before Christmas, and we can just chill and talk to people. And if you guys want to be a part of that community, again, please follow us on Instagram at Bat Hat Pod and Twitter and TikTok, same at, and then the Bat and the Hat Podcast on Facebook. We'd love to talk to you guys.
Yes, sir. And I definitely want to give you a shout out. Congratulations on making it to 40. This is
yeah,
number 40, isn't it?
40 episodes, man. Yeah. We're gonna do something big. We were talking about doing something for 40. I'm like, again, it was crazy. I didn't have anything planned. We should definitely plan something for 50, man. 10 more episodes, and that will be in 2021, which is guaranteed to be a better
hit that
year.
Probably around like end of January, February-ish.
What's 10 weeks away? Yeah, somewhere like early February. We'll do something. We'll do something cool. Valentine's Day 50 episode special. Right. So that'd be pretty cool, man. But thank you. Yeah, 40 episodes. It only took me 2 years to do it because of all the time we took off. But
I mean, hey, 2 years down, we can definitely got a lot of content coming up.
I just love doing this shit, man. I love talking nerdy stuff.
I'm catching the bug too.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's just a lot of fun. And shout out real quick. I just want to say a special thank you to Botter and all the guys over on the Shortbox podcast. If you guys know of the Shortbox and know of them, they've just been super helpful. Botter's been really nice and answering texts and messages that I've sent him, and just being a friend of the show. And they run a really phenomenal podcast, and they get really into comics, which I would love to dive in with them sometime. And just go check them out if you haven't already, because I know a lot of our listeners already know about Shortbox. But just shout out to Botter and them, because they're really great. The Shortbox podcast is also on Apple Podcasts and probably Spotify and stuff like that.
Yep, anywhere you can get your local podcast, you can find us right next to them.
Yeah, and again, they're really great because while we may just like nerd out about the news and what's happening, and they get like deep dive into comics, and I love that. I can listen to them wax intellectual. They did a Punisher episode recently. I loved it. It was so phenomenal. So guys, check them out. And again, check out Mythical Mountain here in Jacksonville if you get the chance. If you're not from Jacksonville, Florida, we also have an online store, mythicalmountain.com, and Mythical Mountain on Facebook, and we do ship. So give us a look, give us a like, give us a rating, give us a, I don't know, suck a dick, who knows?
Right, let Jamie know that Bat Hat Pod sent you over here. Maybe we can get a little discount code, get a little bit of sponsorship. I mean, but hey, let's just keep it geeky, guys.
All right, y'all. Take care. Love you guys so much. And Trey, again, thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Kisses.